For example, if we consider electrical energy or magnetic energy is invisible, but it is driving all the physical elements. So it means unseen drives physical things. So in this particular area, if we deal, for example, if we consider social relationships, right? So relationship means there are two living organs. Definitely there will be conflict. So we wanted to send some signal. We are expecting to receive the same component in same quality without any noise. But naturally, the other person, the receiver ends, receives based on his perceptions. So definitely there will be conflict. How do we deal with conflict? Coming to the spiritual aspects. So coming to the spirituality, we need to live up to the expectation with the purpose. Our life should be purpose-driven life. Occupational, we are dealing with so many professions. So to handle all these areas in a most profitable, we need to deal self first. We can deal n number of things, but we need to deal with self. My dear friends, everyone knows, all the scientists, engineers, researchers knows that energy is the very basis of this physical universe. But coming to the human being or life, coming to the life, prana is the basic fabric of entire creation. Some people think that as a human being, everyone knows the beginning of inhalation to the end of the other thing. ఉచ్ఛ్వాస నిశ్వాసల మధ్యలో ఉన్న ఏరియాని మనం లైఫ్ అంటాం. For example, if I pick up one tube and if I send the air inside and if I permit to escape, can it be considered as a prana? Is there any life? So prana is entirely different. For example, if we consider any body, any human body, there are n number of systems. What is the basis of that particular system? For example, everyone knows and appreciates without water for more than one day. We can live without water for more than without food for more than one day. But can we live without taking oxygen for more than a minute? So respiratory system is the base, beginning point for the human life. సో తల్లి గర్భంలో మొదటి శ్వాసని బర్త్ అంటాం మనం, చివరి శ్వాసని మరణం అంటాం మనం. సో అకార్డింగ్ టు జ్యోతిష్ శాస్త్ర, హ్యూమన్ లైఫ్ ఈజ్ మినిమం 120 years. We call it as 120 years, but all Vedic Shastras back define that the lifespan of a human being, not in terms of days, minutes, months and years or decades, of a human being depends upon number of breaths. For example, coming to the breathing practice, we know, right, it is known as a respiratory system. Everyone knows, right? We have gone through almost more than 55-60 subjects in engineering itself. We know so many number of areas, but we are missing most important area, which is driving our life, that is related to respiratory system. We can call respiratory systems in three varieties. One is known as external respiration, second one is internal respiration, third one is cellular respiration. External respiratory system, that is mechanics of breathing. So we take breathing. There are two modes. One is through nose, second one is through mouth. Please do understand, my dear friends, if we are taking breathing through mouth, it is not acceptable. Emergency or exigency, we can take breathing through mouth, but breathing through nose will give maximum benefits. So everyone knows inhalation and exhalation process. So air is pulled through nose into the lungs, and it is pushed out of the lungs. This process everyone knows. It is automatic, my dear friends. It doesn't require any conscious efforts. Conscious, subconscious, and conscious, every level it happens. But what is happening here, my dear friends? There is one research, my dear friends. For example, I don't know how many number of people are there in this virtual room. In good number of cases, there was a case study. For example, if we pick up 100 participants in any group, for maximum capacity or lung capacity, the research revealed that every human being is using not more than 60% of his lung capacity. Very rare scenarios, 80%. So as we are not utilizing our lung capacity to the fullest or maximum, that's why the root cause of the disease is that not utilizing the lung capacity. For example, there are two categories of breathings. One is known as chest breathing. This is also known as thoracic breathing. In medical terminology, it is known as thoracic breathing. Second one is diaphragmatic breathing. Yeah, we will understand. For example, hope I am visible. Am I visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So, for example, if you keep, my request to all the participants, I know so many people in this virtual room knows all these parameters, but my personal request, please hold on. Whatever you know, please hold on for some more time. Let us listen, keeping your heart, mind, and soul open. Definitely, we will add some value by the end of the session. So there are two categories of breathing. One is chest breathing, and second one is diaphragmatic breathing. For example, if you keep one hand on the chest and the second one abdomen, then take full breath, at least for 6 to 7 cycles. I personally request all the participants, keep your both hands, second one in the abdomen. Keep your eyes closed, then take full breath. Please observe the movement of your hands. One is on the chest, second one is at abdomen. Yeah, you can understand or observe the movement of two hands. For example, if the people are highly stressed, if the people are focusing on certain things, not focusing on the self, if they wanted to move, if they are completely pressed, then they feel that the hand which is on the chest will be moving. The rest of the people definitely understand the hand which is on the abdomen will move. So my dear friends, the research says that the hand which is on the abdomen, if it moves, then it draws greater. So coming to the chest breathing, so it draws lesser volume of oxygen. So chest breathing, lesser volume of oxygen. So definitely whenever there is a less oxygen input, then definitely it will have its own consequences. So why some people have lesser volume? Because of the chest breathing. So it is based on two things. Number one is stress. Everyone knows nowadays people are focusing on aesthetics, how they look. So these two things dominates chest breathing. So research shows that abdomen breathing, which is diaphragm, I'll show through some picture, thing will definitely add value to the life. So my dear friends, always have a watch. Am I breathing through nose? You know, my dear friends, if we permit the air to move through nose, parameters, it filters the air, it temperature of the air, and it also adds vapor to the air, humidifies the air. It reduces the fluid loss within the body. Breathing through nose. So you know, my dear friends, what happens when the air goes inside? You know, so there is one parameter which is known as alveoli. So it is actual membrane. It is actual membrane which separates between fluid and gases. Fluid and gases. My dear friends, we have to understand this is the base actually. The life depends upon this. How efficiently this particular mechanism happens, it decides the lifespan of the human being, wellness of the human being. Yeah, we can have life, you know, my dear friends. But is the life is energetic or disease oriented? It depends upon this important parameter, this membrane, right? So the transmission happens because of the capillary action. So here oxygen goes inside, then our carbon dioxide comes out. For example, here, if you observe this left side, this is alveolus. So here it is supplying oxygen inside to the red blood cell. Cell exporting carbon dioxide from the body. So oxygen is exported to blood cell and carbon dioxide is imported from blood cell. So this cycle happens, you know, my dear friends, it continues when we are running, when we are thinking, when we are eating, when we are walking, when we are sleeping. This process continues. What is the significance of learning or the significance of this particular session in today's FDP? My dear friends, happens. This breathing happens. This breathing happens. But is it happening to the fullest? Or is there any shallow breathing? Can you recollect, my dear friends, if we are stressed? For example, when we are moving in the night, when there is no light, for example, if some rope is there, it touched our feet. It is instead of rope, if we think a snake, what happens? When we are angry, what happens? We know, tana kopame tana shatru, tana kopame tana shatru. What is happening? You know, when we are excited in negative way, more number of breaths. We are creating antioxidants inside. Sorry, oxidation activity is going on inside. So that's why it is, our older people said, tana kopame tana shatru. Right? So it means we are reducing our life. In the things in a most appropriate manner. When we are reacting, our breathing capability enormously increases. Number of breaths per minute increases. So there is one simple technique which is known as yogic breathing. We are also breathing, dog is also breathing, yogic people also breathing. It was discovered more than 6,000 years back. Yogic breathing is a breathing with a regular pattern, breathing with awareness. You know, awareness itself is known as meditation. The presence of mind itself is known as meditation. If we focus on our breathing, so it means if our thought is here, then if we are observing our breathing, that itself is known as meditation. When we are focusing on our, when our thought is focusing on our breath, which is cause of life, that is known as prana meditation. My dear friends, many people knows that by simply we call there are 72,000 nadis. My dear friends, everyone knows in the area of engineering, right? To transmit any signal, there should be a channel, right? So we have 101 nadis, main channels within the body. Every channel will have almost more than 100 branches. So it consists of 72,000 nadis. 72,000. So through every channel, the signal should transfer. My dear friends, some people can understand. For example, when we are moving onto the road, our vehicle, we have an accelerator and we also have a brake. So to move ahead, we use the accelerator. For example, if somebody comes across our vehicle, we wanted to apply brake, but before applying, accident takes place. What is happening? The signal generated here, but it took some time, it may be fraction of second, to transfer this particular signal from here to the corresponding organ. Most of the times, if you are going through a car, we apply the brake with the help of leg. We wanted to apply the brake, then accident happens. So it means the signal should generate, the signal should transmit, right? The organ should respond, right? So this happens because of the prana. We know always unseen drives the scene. Universal force is known as prana. Right? According to Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, pranayama is the science of cleansing, balancing, and gaining control over the prana. Right? So controlling unknown things through the known things is known as pranayama. If we practice one technique, related to well-being, we have discussed it. We wanted to grow in physical aspects, mental, emotional, relational, financial, spiritual. So many angles we wanted to grow. Is there any one parameter which helps us to move ahead in every area of life? Yeah, that particular single parameter we can take charge is by practicing prana meditation. We can handle, with the help of this prana meditation, we can energize all those 72 nadis. Yeah, everyone knows, my dear friends. So breathing and lifespan, there is a link. So everyone knows, right? So dogs breathing is almost 80 to 120 minutes per 120 cycles per minute. So that's why it lives only maximum of 15 years. Elephant will have 8 to 12 minutes cycles per minute. That's why it lives 100 years. We know, my dear friends, everyone says your future is in your hand. Most of the times we read that particular statement, reads and forgets. Our future is in our hands. It means, my dear friends, if we can take control of our breathing, number of breaths per minute, if we can take control of number of breaths per minute, we can control our lifespan. My dear friends, this was evolved more than 6,000 years. But many of us, we know, but knowing is different, but implementing is different. If we can implement, that is conscious breathing, if we can take control of our consciousness through breathing, we cannot directly control our conscious, but we can control, we can control seen by unseen. Right? So here, adults, 12 to 16, for example, if we take 12 breaths per minute, definitely almost one decade life will be enhanced. Tortoise will have lesser number of breathing cycles, so that's why it lives for more than 300 cycles. So my dear friends, everyone knows we normally call it is pancha prana. Prana, apana, samana, udana, vyana. These are the pancha pranas. Right. So my dear friends, some people say there is a pain in chest. Some people say I don't have I'm losing my appetite. Some people say I'm suffering with constipation. Some people say my upper part is paining. My dear friends, this is the result. This is the result of the lack of prana in that particular area. Right? We can take charge of our own life. Things, my dear friends, right? If there is a digestion problem, then it means the prana at samana level is missing. So, my dear friends, so there are upanas, right? Every branch will have sub branches. Yeah, we will be not focusing on these things. So my dear friends, by practicing the things which we are learning today, if we can practice, if we can put it on practice on daily basis, we can take charge of our own life. We can control many things. We can mastery on so many things. There are pancha pranas. To handle every prana, there is one practice which is offered at 6,000 years back. 6,000 years back, my dear friends. For example, everyone knows there is a Shavasana. That's why we lay down every day night. Shavasana handles Vyana, right? Complete movement of the body, movement of the prana inside the body. But it is not sufficient, my dear friends. Shavasana, it is having its own posture. Posture is very important. So, my dear friends, coming to the actual core area, a demonstration of the core content in today's session. So, there are three components. Right? We know, everyone knows that inhalation, exhalation. Right? Shwasa తీసుకోవడం, శ్వాస వదిలిపెట్టడం. ఉచ్ఛ్వాస, నిశ్వాస. This is only nose. Right? My dear friends, there are, other than these two, there is one more thing. Stoppage of breath is very, very important. Right? Yoga breathing, it is known as yogic breathing. Right? So that is known as kumbhaka. Yeah, we need not to worry about these definitions or usage of the words, but if we can understand and put into practice, definitely it creates miracles. So my dear friends, right? So we are into engineering, right? This FDP is happening. So many people are learning new things. My dear friends, core component, right? Everything drives through brain. Right? Both brain is the most critical thing in our life. So, right, it is having left, right. Of course, it is into four areas. But if we divide into main category, it is left brain and right brain. So left brain is known as logical thinking. It activates logical thinking. Right brain is creative thinking. My dear friends, in the universe, everything created twice. So one is here, second is in physical reality. So everything, every development, every patent, if we consider, it creates twice. So one is here. We visually see the future, then we create the future. So it means right brain should be activated. For all the research community, the right brain is important. For left brain, it is analytical thought. So if we can handle, or if we can manage both sides, then miracles, we can create miracles. So how do we activate or how do we utilize the brain capability to the fullest? My dear friends, right breathing, the breathing through right nostril activates left side of the brain. Breathing through the left nostril activates the right side of the brain. So, for example, everyone can sit erect properly, right? So, spine vertical ga undettuga kuchchondi. For example, keep your hand like this or like this. శ్వాస వదిలిపెట్టండి. చూడండి, లెఫ్ట్ నాజిల్ నుంచి రైట్ నాజిల్ నుంచి సేమ్ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ బ్రెత్ మీరు ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ చేస్తున్నారు. Majority of the people, it is no. There is no uniform volume of air intake or out through left and right nostril. It naturally, it will not happen. No, ఏం చేయకపోతే గడ్డి మొలుస్తుంది మనకు తెలుసు. Right? So Practice trains the breathing. So my dear friends, there are different types of pranayamas. My dear friends, it requires almost 20 minutes of time on daily basis. Only 20 minutes of time. If we can take charge of 20 minutes of our own time, then we can take charge of our own body, our own mind, right? Brain, body. This, if they are in synchronous state, then we can create miracles. So we are most of the times we are thinking or speaking about work-life balance. My dear friends, related to pranayama, can we able to balance the breath through left and right? That balance creates majority of balances in various sectors: physical, mental, emotional, relational, societal, spiritual, financial sectors. In all sectors, we can create miracles. But here, this particular balance is required, my dear friends. So there are good number of varieties of pranayamas: Bhastrika pranayama, Anuloma Viloma pranayama, Surya Bhedana pranayama, Pranava pranayama, Anunasika pranayama, Kukriya pranayama, Brahmari pranayama, and so many other pranayamas are there, but these are very important. You know, my dear friends, Bhastrika pranayama. Bhastrika pranayama. So I personally request all the people. I think you have taken lunch at 1 o'clock or maximum 2. So it means the duration is more than 2.5 hours. So it means we can practice this pranayama. So I request all the participants to be part of this particular practice session comfortably. You can sit in chair, right? It's okay, no problem. Sit comfortably. Please ensure the back is vertical. It takes care of major issues. You know, if the spine is, if it is vertical, it takes care of many things. Yeah, my dear friends, Bhastrika pranayama. The breath to the fullest. Deep breathe, inhale, exhale. Okay, so for simple jnana mudra, that is known as, for example, let us sit in. Keep your eyes closed. Please observe first. Take the breath full. Please focus on your thought on the breathing. So what I am doing, I am taking the air inside without stopping. Exhale. Without stopping, inhale. So this cycle, let us continue for 6 times. Then you will realize, immediate relaxation you will realize. Probably some people might be thinking, yeah, this thing already are happening. Why you are calling it as a Bhastrika pranayama? My dear friends, most of the times it happens unconsciously. Most of the times it happens up to 50% of lung capacity. You know, it is known as shallow breathing. Every cell needs oxygen. So if we supply fullest, if we allow this diaphragm to move to the maximum extent, then it absorbs maximum air inside. Maximum oxygen goes inside. Acceleration, external, within the cellular శ్వాస కూడా జరిగిపోతుంది. Okay, inhalation. Okay, so let us continue for 6 cycles. Full breath inside, inhale, exhale, that is known as 1 cycle. Let us complete 6 cycles. Okay, I request all the participants to take part Bhastrika pranayama. If you are focusing your thought, if you are observing the shwasa, then naturally you will get lot of relaxation. Conscious observation is nothing but meditation. We are focusing our consciousness on breathing. So that's why it is known as prana meditation. Without break, please continue for 6 cycles. So this process activates every cell of your body. Every cell of the body will be energized. You feel a lot of relaxation when you do with full consciousness, with full lung capacity. As you are doing consciously, naturally, you will take maximum air volume. Slowly open your eyes. Next. So most of the times, when we are starting this particular activity, the amount of air we take through left nostril is not equal to the amount of air we take through right nostril. So that's why most of the times we need to clear it first. It is known as blast it or blast out through the nostril. So how do we do that? We take the help of one Mruga Mudra. Very simple, right? Thumb, leave it, and small, the ring finger, small finger and ring finger, they should be aligned together, and the remaining 2 fingers close it. So this is one mudra, right? So to close the right nostril, we take the help of thumb. To close the left nostril, we take the help of. So this is to close. Okay. So if anyone is having any problem with this, if they are unable to bend, sometimes it happens, some people loses the flexibility, right? So those people can keep their 2 fingers here, and they can close the left or right. So here our intention is to close. You may keep like this or you may keep like this, it's your own choice. Blast out, Anunasika Pranayama. My dear friends, already we have discussed the breathing. If we take breathing through left nostril, then this activates right side of the brain. Then if we close this and if we take breathe inside to the right nostril, left side of the brain. Okay, so close the right side and blast out. So what I am doing? I am closing one nostril, then by keeping other nostril open, forcefully I am pushing the air which already taken inside to the outside. Air goes inside to the left nostril as usual. In the exhale process, we force it consciously through only one nostril. Always check number of cycles, We have to balance, my dear friends, left and right side, we have to always balance. So you can do 4 cycles by closing the right nostril. You can take inhale, exhale, 4 cycles. Then close the left nostril, then do same number of cycles through right nostril. Yeah. So some unwanted thing definitely may come out. Don't worry. That's why always keep one hand kerchief with you. While doing pranayama, it is always better to have handkerchief. Yeah, my dear friends, some people may think that, yeah, when I am having some cold or cough, I always do like this. What is the big deal? This practice, if we do it on daily basis, my dear friends, you know, our body, we feel the weight of the body is almost reduced by 10 kgs. It will be very light, number one. Number two, some people might be having lot of headache. If they work for more than 1 or 2 hours, then they feel very pain here. That is because of lesser intake of oxygen. That is not the big deal. If we provide sufficient oxygen, so to this particular area, then naturally it relieves from the body pain. So this is known as blasting out through nostrils in a specific pattern. So this is known as Anunasika Pranayama. Next, Surya Vedana Pranayama. Surya Vedana Pranayama. My dear friends, right side nostril, if we take breath like this, it is known as Surya Nadi or Surya Nadi Pranayama. We have a lot of published research. If we take breathing to right nostril by keeping left nostril closed, then naturally the body temperature will